You know, I look around here in this classroom and I see some of the strongest, smartest men who've ever lived, who've ever bloody lived. I see all the potential and I see squandering. God darn it. It's an entire generation pumping gas and waiting tables. Slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes and working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we can buy stuff we don't need. We're the middle children of history, man. With no purpose or place. We have no great war. We've had no Great Depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our bloody lives. We've all been raised by television to believe that one day we'll be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. And we're slowly learning that fact, and we're very PO'd. We're so darn ticked off at this that we fly into a rage.
See, the only problem with putting Jordan Peterson right into Fight Club is that Jordan Peterson thinks that consumption is good, especially when it comes to fossil fuels. He is like, glug, glug, I want to drink the dino juice.
Right.
It would be hard to fit that into the Fight Club ideology, even as confused as it is.
Well, he's an accelerationist, you know. I want to be cooking venison on the bloody highway. And I can only do that once civilization has fallen apart, which he definitely does not believe in, by the way. I think he's a big civilization good guy.
Yeah, it's always an interesting mix. It's civilization's good. Everything that led us to this point is good. This point we're at, though, no, that's bad. We need to go back 20 years, and for some reason, this won't repeat again.
I think consumption is also a thing he had.
One of the most Tyler Durden-y things Peterson has posted recently, there was a city in New Jersey that, through some very, very basic interventions in their planning, reduced pedestrian fatalities to 0 by just like eliminating parking at intersections. This is called daylighting, so that there's more daylight for drivers to see pedestrians. And the Associated Press tweeted out, New Jersey municipality ends pedestrian fatality over a period of like a decade. And Peterson retweeted this with the caption, "The woke mob will come for you too, AP." Sorry, is woke to not die in preventable car accidents now? What the fuck?
No, because it's making men not hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's natural selection you're getting rid of by not just mowing children down in your F-150.
Peterson's version of the Fight Club is every intersection in Stroke.
It used to be that men were hit by cars 3-4 times a year. But now they're gelatinous slobs because they've never been run over.
Learned a lot of chemistry from this movie. It's kind of an educational piece if you think about it. They should show this in high school.
Yeah, in the 90s. People seem to be very into subversive chemistry with like the Anarchist Cookbook and this movie. If you think about the figures of the era, right? People like the Unabomber.
And I do.
Listen, man, that guy deserved to die in jail for writing such a boring ass fucking manifesto. That's my hot take.
Transitioning could have saved her. Like, seriously, Ted Kaczynski went to a gender clinic in like the 70s before being the Unabomber or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. And then bitched out like just before going in for the appointment.
Oh, unbelievable.
And the bombs worked.
Yes.
Right, unlike the book.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for giving me a good movie to watch. At long last. I think I really needed that cleansing.
It was just nice to see Brad Pitt's back in this movie.
That back,
God,
like, my gosh. Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay, so you're Brad Pitt. That don't impress me much.
I remember I was really into Brad Pitt's physique. I think actually 2 of the posters that I had on my dorm room wall, he was shirtless. Both the Snatch one and this one, the Fight Club one. Because he's one of the few I find like ectomorphs that is kind of known for his body. We may never see another ectomorph in a movie ever again. Because we'll just pump them full of human growth hormone until they have a V-shaped torso. It'll be all like Kumail Nanjiani's and Chris Hemsworth's.
Yeah.
Whereas like Brad Pitt is what? Like he's like 155 pounds in this movie, and yet he looks good.
Yeah, I also looked that up.
I don't know. I'm saying that's an eyeball guess.
Yeah. How tall is he?
5'11". I don't know. What was the 90s, right? Everybody had a heroin chic physique.
Damn, Giordano, we got to get you at a motherfucking carnival. 'Cause Google says he is exactly 5'11".
Well, it's not like I stared at him on my dorm room wall every night before going to sleep.
It's like that scene in American Psycho when he's looking at himself in the mirror while having sex, except Giordano's looking at a poster of Brad Pitt while he has sex in his college dorm room.
Yeah, well, Christian Bale, well-known mesomorph. Okay. Except for in The Machinist, I guess. But it has nothing to do with your actual physique and more to do with like your bone proportions and your skull shape.
Yeah, I've been waiting for us to get there.
Yeah, I gotta say, this movie rocks. 4.5 stars. And if you didn't like this movie, you know what? Listen, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts on Fight Club. All of them just shitting on this movie, talking about how it wasn't good enough. And I gotta say to these people, you know who you are? You're in the Guyvery Tower, okay? You're sitting up there, you're talking about, oh, I don't know that the film did enough to advance cinema. But whatever happened to watching a movie and trying to have a good time? Nobody's trying to have a good time anymore.
Kind of what the movie's about, if you think about it.
Truly. It's a fun movie about having a good time with the boys.
Exactly. Yep. You know what they're not doing in that house? Critical analyses. This is a great movie to make a bomb to. This is a great movie to smoke cigarettes shirtless with your boys too. All right, do you guys feel sufficiently pleasant? Should we get going?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Remember Shuffle. My name is Ben. With me, as always, is my co-host, Giordano.
Oh my God, I don't have a voice. I didn't think of anything. Oh, fuck. Okay, all right. Yeah, let me. Hello, I'm quite happy to be here today. Though there's a lot of young men in your audience who I find were not socialized well enough because they weren't engaged in rough play, and I'm here to tell them a thing or two about some of the benefits that males have to engage with, or else they grow up awkward. That's my Giordano Peterson.
Giordano Peterson, everyone. Thank you. And today we will be discussing Fight Club. This is an episode that Giordano has been excited about pretty much since we've started the pod. And to analyze this beautiful, nearly perfect film, we are joined by two good friends of ours, maybe the narrator to Kyle's Tyler Durden of Remember Shuffle Guest.
No, come on, man.
And then Kyle's in the lead, which makes JD narrator.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
What did you think I was saying about him?
I thought you were attacking his character.
Oh.
Sort of describing Kyle as like a blonde, cool guy.
Say hi, JD.
I am Kyle's bad episode.
And we are also joined by a great friend of ours, I believe a first time, long time, Maddie. Say hi, Maddie.
Oh, hey. Just here to tell you that if you argue with them in the comments long enough, they will let you on the pod. So make sure to do that.
All right, so Giordano, since you're the brains behind this operation on this episode, walk us through why Fight Club? Why this 1999 movie on our 2000s pod?
Yeah, so exactly. I know what you're thinking. Fight Club. This is a 90s movie. It feels like a 90s movie, right? But what we have to always remember about the 2000s is that a full 15% of the 2000s actually took place before 9/11. And nobody ever talks about this poor 15%, that it still existed in this moment before 9/11. What we've kind of been referring to as this end of history moment. This point where the Berlin Wall has fallen, neoliberal capitalism has triumphed, we're richer than we've ever been, we have a surplus, and yet everybody finds themselves angsty and sort of unfulfilled and surprised that their newfound wealth and confidence that comes with the fact that they figured out society with neoliberal democracy isn't making them as happy as they can be. And I'm not just generalizing here and saying that everybody felt this way, because consider this, guys. There are 4 movies that came out in 1999. One of them won Best Picture. But Fight Club, Office Space, The Matrix, and American Beauty. Every single one of these movies deals with the exact same thing. They all feature a scene where the protagonist is sitting in a cubicle, numb to life, alienated, and wondering, what is the point of all of this? What is the point of this fucking unfulfilling life I'm living? When we want to talk about the 2000s, it's important to remember where the 2000s is starting from. Before we got into the war on terror, before somebody, there was a hint that, hey, maybe somebody else has some ideas out there that aren't a neoliberal democracy. So that's why I want to talk about Fight Club, because I think it's a perfect encapsulation of the types of movies that were coming out in the year 2000 and 1999, describing the spiritual malaise that we found ourselves in. So that's why I want to talk about this movie.
Sweet. Yeah. I would also add, in terms of our list of works that have this kind of angsty ennui, The Strokes, their first album, the rock band has a first album that's called Is This It? Truly. I just want to list these 4 movies one more time. Fight Club, Office Space, Matrix, American Beauty. What are their programs that they offer? Office Space is don't care, like stop caring about your job and become a construction worker. Probably the most positive. The Matrix is
transition.
Yeah, transition.
yeah, there we go. That's right. Yeah, the Matrix's prescription is transition. Yeah. Fight Club is start terrorism, and American Beauty is fuck a teenager. Those 4 paths lay before you. Jesus Christ. Yeah, where's the 1999 drama about organizing your workplace?
And I'll keep going here. Sorry to railroad us, but I've been keeping this in for 18 months, and I've been like the kid with the vein in his forehead. So I think this is like a really good movie at showcasing one of my favorite examples of Mark Fisher's capitalist realism, because in that book, he argues that at this point in history, and even like continuing today, it's almost impossible to imagine an alternative to capitalism, right? That's why we can't imagine a future that isn't Children of Men or something. And so what you get, especially at this moment when this belief is kind of at its strongest, is the politics of Gen X, which are so funny, so funny, because they're living in this system that is totally committed to capitalism. And so they have no idea, they can't even conceive of another system. And so their political ideology is just taking swings in the dark at anything. It's consumerism. It's the New World Order. It's globalization. There's never any sense of class politics or political prescription that isn't I fucking hate my furniture. God damn it.
The thing is that it's just all negative. It's the politics of rejection. We don't like consumerism. Mm-hmm. We don't like whatever, the fucking rat race. There may be elements of the economic system that we don't like, but it's not proscriptive or prescriptive, one of those. It doesn't advance a positive vision of what it is. It's just a total view of rejection. And another major point of Mark Fisher is this is part of how capitalism defends itself by presenting itself as a logical kind of telos, an end unto itself, that there is no alternative, even to be imagined, that can be imagined. So if that is what you are up against, it's just going to manifest in this fuck off rejection that we see very well represented in this film.
Yeah, a huge part of it too is this is the ultimate victory of Margaret Thatcher's there is no society, there is only the individual. Mm-hmm. Because when people view themselves as a consumer, they don't view themselves as part of a group or anything. They view themselves entirely as someone who has a relationship to a product. They don't view themselves I sell my labor for wages, whatever, along with all my other people and inherent interests. So there becomes all this mixed up class stuff where suddenly a small business tyrant and a union worker have the same interests, quote unquote, because oh, hey, we're both consumers, we both buy shit, but it completely papers over distribution of power.
Yeah, even the rebellious people at this time are still thinking at the individual level. If you look at something like Ross Perot's campaign or the politics of this movie, all of the ideology is rooted in the individual. How do I be on the frontier supporting myself? Mm-hmm. They're libertarians, basically.
Yeah, it is very funny. I love the base premise that we start off with. Consumerism is hollow. There's so many great fucking angsty, nihilistic lines that as a teenager I thought were so goddamn deep. Everything's so fake now. Everything's a copy of a copy of a copy. And it's very funny just to see the logical leap from yes, everything is bad. Yes, consumerism will not satisfy you. Yes, it is a hedonic treadmill that you can never get off. So let's fight each other.